Hi, my name is Dr. Alice Holland, Director of Stride Strong Physical Therapy, and I'm going to go over how to select optimum running and walking shoes for you. I don't want anybody watching this video to obsess over the brands of shoes I have here today. They are for demonstration purposes only and should not affect the type or brand of shoe you should purchase for yourself. Before we go into choosing shoes for optimum gait, I have to note a disclaimer here. How well you run has nothing to do with the shoes you wear. What matters most is how much control, stability, and strength a runner has to convert the energy they put into their run to forward progression. The more energy is wasted on collapsing the knee, foot, or hip during a run, the more energy is wasted and not going into efficiently contributing to running forward. Therefore, a runner should consider shoes as merely a tool to assist her body in running. If you want to run better, faster, and stronger, the runner should improve one's own running mechanics and internal strength and put less priority over their shoes. You should consider shoes like tools in your garage. Different shoes have different purposes for different tasks. So, for instance, if you are running a speed race, you should look for a shoe that would allow you to push through the ground more efficiently with better force and speed. If you're running a long distance race, like an ultramarathon, you might want to look for a shoe with more cushioning so the impact on your feet is less over the large amount of time you will be on them, which in some cases might be up to 6 hours. With that said, these are the things you should consider before you shop. First thing, the type of distance of running you will be doing. Second, the terrain you will be running on and the level of grip you need. I have my trail running shoes here, and they have more nubbies in the sole, and they're perfect for trail running because they grip the ground so much better. Another thing to consider is previous pathology and whether you have a recent history of injuries. If you are recently recovering from an Achilles rupture, for instance, you might not want to start your running training in minimalist shoes, as those tend to bias muscles of the calf and ankle. So that might add extra strain. Another thing to consider, try on shoes in the late afternoon when your foot is wider and more collapsed. Also, the amount of time and effort you want to spend acclimating to a shoe, especially if it is drastically different than what you're used to wearing. So if you're used to wearing high drop shoes like 8mm drop shoes, you should give yourself ample time to acclimate to a minimalist shoe. More on this later. Besides these considerations, here are the top 5 things you want to aim for when purchasing your next shoe. Number 1, you want to pick a shoe that is light in mass. Why? They have been found to give better energy economy than heavier shoes. They have less inertia and so lighter for you to move in. Number 2, minimal drop shoes. Minimal drop shoes employ less of a quadriceps strategy when running and shifts muscle utilization more to the calf, ankle, and foot. For those who suffer from runner's knee, running in minimal shoes would reduce patellofemoral knee pain by reducing strain on quadriceps. So here I have an 8mm drop shoe, and I've transitioned it gradually to a 0 drop shoe. These are my ultras right here. The effect actually is quite large when felt at the knee. If you are already accustomed to running in heeled shoes, such as those with 8mm drop traditional shoe, don't feel pressured to go to 8mm drop from 8mm drop to 0 right away. Make the transition gradual because your muscles need acclimation and gradual strengthening to get used to this shift in strategy. If this transition is too fast, the runner could experience some strain to the calf, Achilles, or plantar fascia. Unfortunately, I do see those patients in the clinic who have made this transition way too quickly. I have a series of exercises I can recommend to runners who want to transition to minimal footwear. These need to be done regularly in order to acclimate appropriately. Sign up for a gait analysis with us for a more personalized program. We can hone in on your personal dysfunctions and give you exercises to attain your running goals and prevent injury. Number 3, reach for firmer cushioning. This makes sense to anyone who is in a sport that involves balance. And by the way, running does involve balance because you are basically pogo sticking from one leg to the next in running gait. Now, the firmer the surface your foot is on, the better the foot can feel the ground forces and react accordingly. I know this is pretty hard for a lot of you to wrap your head around, but imagine skateboarding, a sport that requires a lot of balance and feel for the ground. So the skateboarder can slice and turn around corners much more accurately if they're on a firm board. But now imagine if instead of a firm skateboard, the skater is now standing on a foam pillow. Though it might feel softer, might feel cushier, the haptic feedback the skateboarder's feet feels is no longer as sharp or accurate as when his feet are on a firm board. Now this is called proprioception, the ability to feel cues from the external environment. And the more proprioception, the better. Your muscles will react more efficiently to the environment. However, keep in mind the distance you are trying to run. If you are an ultramarathoner running 5+ hours, a thin, light shoe with very little cushioning may not be ideal for you because of the amount of impact you receive over time. You kind of need something a little softer, a little bit more cushioned. In this particular case, more cushion might be necessary. Just reach for the firm kind of cushion. Number 4, make sure you have the right width of shoe for your foot. Take the insole out of the shoe you are interested in purchasing. Stand on the insole barefoot. If your foot spills over the boundaries of the insole, your foot is too wide for this shoe, and you should go a size or style wider. The better your toes and feet can move in the shoe, the more strength the muscles and tendons in your foot can translate into moving. A bound foot is a useless paddle. Number 5, pick a shoe that has the ability to have torsion, such as this one right here. Try to twist the shoe like a towel. So this one tends to be a little bit too firm. You want to pick a shoe that has the ability to have torsion for better haptic feedback and proprioception. There's that word again. The better your foot can perceive proprioception, which is an external cue, the better it can respond and accommodate for different forces. The more efficiently your muscles and joints can work to push through different cants, different terrains, and different curves in the road. This concludes my 5 big rules on picking a running shoe. I know I spoke some length about going into a minimalist shoe. I don't want to misconstrue people into buying a minimalist shoe right away. Remember, acclimation is key to preventing injury. But I know a lot of you might be wondering, so who can run in a minimalist shoe? The answer is almost everyone can, but the runner has to gradually acclimate to it. In my next vlog, I will discuss exercises that you can do to acclimate to this. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Like us on Facebook so you keep updated, or bookmark this blog so you stay tuned if you want to see how you can graduate into a minimalist shoe.